live.
Live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast and it's hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I am the other host, Paul, and I am full of health and for some reason got a deeper voice. Yes, this is me. Hello, nerds.
Sultry Paul.
Yes. And we are joined by the charismatic enigma, the man of many names, the man that you watch on Twitch, the man you want to be, the man that will kill you with his eyes. Yes.
I'm full of venom.
Hey.
We are Jake.
Podcast work.
Jake. It's Jake. The Jake says of that funny Ramblecast podcast that you all should be watching and listening to. It's a very good as well. So yes.
Oh, thank you, Paul. But yes, hello.
Thank you.
So yes, tonight is a good episode. It is one that we thought never would happen, and people doubted that we would do this because let's be honest. Like before we get into it as well, this film has had a lot of shit thrown at it. Some warranted, some unwarranted. But again, we'll get into that in a bit. So Sammy, do you want to do your magic?
Oh, we're doing magic today, are we now? Oh my gosh.
Don't show us an elephant trick.
Well, this Graham's not on. I don't have to do the disclaimer straight away.
Yes.
So I'll ask the most important question of the week. How you doing and what you've been watching?
I survived COVID, so that's a yay.
Yay!
You did, yeah.
Well done. Bravo.
The hero's journey.
Yes.
Is now complete.
Yes. So what have you been watching, Jake?
Okay, one thing I was excited about, I saw a leaked little trailer for season 2 of Andor.
Oh god. Michael was telling us.
Not that it showed like a massive amount of stuff, but like it showed the important stuff that, like, you know, all the actors are coming back and people have got new outfits. Ooh. And I was most excited for the awkward sit down with like Cyril and his mother. That happens a lot in Andor. he's like this failure boy who, like, you know, tries to bust Andor and stuff, but then he has to go back to his mother's horrible apartment and sit and have awkward breakfasts with her. It's just good television.
I will watch the second season. I promise. Well, the first season I'll watch. Sorry, I will go back to it. I will try for the 4th time. But yes, so you're so excited for season 2. So have they given any dates, release dates, or anything like that?
Still 2024 because obviously everything got shut down for strikes. But now that things are starting to like open back up, we're getting more news because they dropped that like Dave Filoni's taken over the Star Wars, kind of like a Kevin Feige kind of thing, where he's like the brand Bible man, right, who knows all of like the, you know, all the characters and all of the where people should be in this movie.
All right.
But yeah, so that should be interesting.
Cool. Well, me and the Discord creeps have been chatting away all today because we've been watching the Squid Games The Challenge, which is just a trash Netflix TV show based on the hit show, but it's basically set in England and there's people all over the world that are actually doing the Squid Game challenges for real.
Yeah.
Where they've got like squids that blow and explode, so it looks like they're being shot when they like get caught moving or when they break the cookie. But it is quite intense, and the contestants, all of them are complete bellends as well. So it's entertaining as fuck to see them fail. But yes, so that's been my entertainment as well. And also, me and Jake's been chatting today about the news last night that broke the internet. That WWE has brought back the best in the world, apparently.
The best in the world.
CM Punk, and there's a lot of upset people. Which is
Seth Rollins being one of them. I saw that video. Jesus, I don't think that was kayfabe at all. I genuinely think he was pissed.
It's a weird one because there's so many rumors and stuff flying out. I'm living for it because I love the drama. But apparently Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre are the two main ones that's pissed off the most. Like, Drew stormed out the arena after the match because apparently before the match the 10 people who were involved were told what was going to happen, so that was why they were pissed off at the end. But
because I heard some weird stuff where this happened like after like after it was on the air sort of thing, as in they showed the little icon, like the barcode at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Oh.
like after that, because some news places reported he didn't show up because they must have had their articles ready to go.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like, so it was like that much of a secret that even half the wrestlers didn't quite know until he was like walking past them, I guess.
I know there was a like picture yesterday afternoon with CM Punk having lunch with Paul Heyman as well. So there's a lot of stuff flying about. But yes,
they always catch them in the airports. I was trying to tell Lee today in our chat because he was saying like, does everyone know that the like, because it's
that was actually a really funny comment by Lee.
Well, it's true though, isn't it? Because when you're like on the outside, it's hard to know what's like announced beforehand and what isn't with wrestling because it's all so weird. But yeah, I was just saying like, they'll usually catch people in airports and be like, oh, The Rock's gonna show up. He's been pictured in like SF Airport or something.
I think the way they got round this time though is because with it being in Chicago, CM Punk's hometown as well, so he didn't have to fly
gonna be
in.
there anyway. Yeah.
But I know there's things flying about saying they were thinking about keeping him for the Rumble to his first appearance but then they were worried that AEW were going to leak it and share the big news. But all we know, like I say, things are going to change now. Good or bad, we don't know. But I bet you tomorrow night's Raw will be the most watched Raws for a long time in anticipation because this, and that's probably the master stroke that WWE or Triple H has done with this. But I think my worry is if you look at WWE's roster, there's very few people that I'm excited to see Punk work with because I think you hit the nail on the head now. He's not at the level what he used to be. Even his AEW work, he pushed himself that hard to try and give matches he couldn't deliver. He was getting injured all the time.
Yeah, like there was like points where he couldn't even like lift people up for like the go to sleep, and it's like, well, that's worrying, like for your your signature move and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like he seems like he would be a perfect manager, like just friggin' because he can talk.
Yes,
I think that's his biggest win is his voice.
Well, yeah, he's got room to grow on that because he is a bit rusty. He's not as good as he used to be like back in the day. But if you give him but if you give him like a weekly manager spot, he'll get better. Yeah. I don't see him getting better at wrestling at this point.
That ship sailed.
But I know I don't, because we'll probably have a full-on wrestling episode soon about this because it's an interesting topic. But who would you want to see him wrestling now back in WWE? What's the match that you could get excited about?
I don't even know who's on the main roster anymore.
I know me and Sam are like the worst person to ask. Feed him to Brock.
Feed him to Brock.
Give him to Seth Rollins. Doesn't he do damage to people's careers? Like maybe he just ends it all. And no, but
maybe it should be like he sticks with the legend type people. Like the older crowd. Yeah. Like have him do. I don't know. Like
marquee
can Austin still go? Can Austin have one more in him?
I don't know. He looked impressive against Owens that year. So
that's what I mean. Like and like Punk's like they always said Punk was the Austin replacement at one point, didn't they? Like, oh, he's the new working class hero. Like little did we know what he was getting up to behind the scenes.
How foolish were we?
But I know talking to Don about, like, we mentioned a few names, but the only one that generally does fill us with a little bit of excitement is AJ Styles. Because I think AJ can have a match with anyone, and I think their styles would actually cohesive and work.
They're from similar like time periods when they were famous as well, but AJ was just kind of all in TNA while Punk was coming up through like early WWE stuff.
Ring
I think
of Honor stuff as well. So yeah.
Yes.
So Sammy, sorry about that. So Sammy, what have you been watching?
No, that was really it was a good point because it all like literally happened last night. Do you know what I've been watching? I've been doing my homework. I watched the film we're reviewing tonight, and I watched the one that I did for Monsters coming up.
Because she said professional, guys. Professional, Sammy.
Fucking professional. I've been writing notes and everything, like feelings as I'm going along. I've been making sure that I keep on top of what I am meant to be doing. And watched the last season of Always Sunny again. Because it's really short. and we kind of forgot some of the stuff that happened. So that's really it. That is literally it. I have not watched a great deal. Next week might be a whole different conversation, given that I have a week off and a husband to take care of. So
That's right,
stay
guys.
tuned for that.
Thing is up. These part-time podcasters, as well as taking time off from the show, having seasons and stuff. What the hell's that happening?
I know.
I didn't agree to
God.
this when I signed you up. I'm gonna have words here. Me and Jake's gonna have to take someone to town.
Paul's just gonna sit on his own and be like, "It's monsters."
It's Trek.
Tell you what, I'd be terrified if I did that because Stan would come for me. You could just feel the anger.
Yeah, it's not me. It's not me you need to worry about.
And good
It's like the horror lawyers would show up, like friggin' like Jason and Michael with the cease and desist papers and drag you
And
out.
clipboards and everything.
So yes. So Sammy, do you want to do your disclaimer before we start ruining this stuff
Oh,
now?
yes, do I.
Yes.
So, everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us in the Facebook page, the Discord page, or the comment section, where we can have an open discussion. But what we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can all agree to disagree in fandom, so let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Well said. And we did get quite a few new Discord creeps last night as well. So hello, you new people, if you're watching.
Well, my voice changed a lot through that, and there's a pretty good reason for it, and we'll get into it with this episode as to why my voice changes quite often while I said the disclaimer. But can I, before we start this whole episode, give you guys the tagline to this movie?
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't think I know it.
You ready? Strength now, courage always, family above all, Batman and Robin.
I did not get that. That doesn't come through very much.
That is the tagline for this fucking film.
Right. So, because we all know, yes. So we know that Jake loves this movie. Jake was born just at the perfect time when this movie came out. This was, I think we've had conversations. Was this your first real interaction with Batman, or was it?
No, I'd definitely seen the other ones, but like I think this was the only one I was like at the right age to like go to the pictures to see, or like maybe I could have seen Forever, but maybe nobody wanted to take us to see Forever. Who knows? You don't really get a choice when you're a kid.
Yeah.
But no, like I got caught in the amazing marketing blitz for this, where they just blanketed every product possible, like cereal, like stuff was in all the shops, adverts, like just anything that could slap like Batman and Robin logos on, and like those Batman toys, the sort of like the animated series toys, they look most like him. The retro room's got plenty of them. I saw some the other day. Like they basically just reskinned all of those to kind of match this a little bit, but they were like weird. And I mean, you guys watched the movie, you saw all the toys that they were driving around on.
This was a big commercial for a lot of different things.
No, well, that is it. That's the whole point of this movie, is that Joel Schumacher got told, you need to make this. These are not my words. Toy mania.
Right.
So this needs to be toy branded. Everything has to be toy-amatic. Like it had to involve the toys. And when I knew that, it changed my whole perspective on this movie.
Yeah, like it clicked.
Loved it.
The way I looked at it now, like, because I remember the marketing campaign. It was probably the biggest marketing campaign for any of the Batman films, except from the original Batman. Because I remember when that first came out in '89, like you had the Black Burger and stuff like that. It was just like in Whoppers and everything. It was amazing. But when this came out, it started subtly. They started the drip feed. Because this is when the movie trailers actually worked. They had the movie trailer up. It was just a red screen, and you heard a little bit of music. And then you saw the bat symbol come up, and then you saw the Robin symbol go over it, and then it faded out saying Batman and Robin. That was all we got from the trailer, the teaser trailer, when it originally came out in the cinema. And I can remember, I forgot what movie I was seeing, but I can still remember like vividly that trailer. I was like, great. There's another Batman film. Hopefully, it's better than Batman Forever because I'm like that's my kryptonite. Just because I'm not a big Jim Carrey fan, so
Yeah. Yeah.
so for me that one was always a struggle, and I was like, yes, this is great. And when I watched it as a kid, it didn't tick the boxes for Batman because I didn't get all the jokes. I didn't get all the innuendos and stuff like that because there's so many innuendos. I'm surprised Lee hasn't wrote like every single innuendo or joke from this film and used it because it is so so
It
littered
is
with them.
puntastic.
Yes, that was the word I was looking for.
Absolute
All the
puntastic.
puns. But I remember this, but watching it back now because I watched it last back, and I was thinking, this is such a love letter to the 1966 Adam West Batman. I don't
Mhm.
think it like people realize like this is like the big screen version of that Batman that we had as a kid. And
Yeah.
we loved that as a kid, so why don't we love this now? It's almost like the expectation for Batman changed somewhat somewhere, and I don't know
Mhm.
why people kind of get lost. And I know I was having an argument with Lee about it, and the thing was like, "Oh, these things don't make sense." I went, "It's a fucking comic book movie. It's not meant to make sense. It's
Yeah.
meant to be fun. You're meant to like feel the drama, feel the anticipation, and just go with it and just enjoy
Oh,
it."
yeah.
And
Oh, sorry.
no, that's fine.
Just while you're on the Batman 66, that is literally the first feeling I wrote down on my notes was getting 66 Batman vibes
Mhm.
/ Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Ivan
Yeah,
Ooze is going to pop up.
It
know
wasn't
that-
that. It was the
You know
little.
that hockey scene? Like
Yeah.
that's exactly what would happen in the old show. Like all the hockey goons would come
Yeah.
out and they'd be
That's
like
it.
standing in the middle going like, "Oh no."
And that's where I got my Power Rangers feeling from as well,
Yeah.
because it was the way they all came out, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Are these like putty men? Like, what is going
Yeah.
on here?" But yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
got
they're doing like flips and stuff, you know, like unnecessary things. They're not like
Yes.
you know, they're not like murderous thug bad guys.
Mhm.
They're like coming out doing like hockey flips and like spinning around people and stuff.
Yeah. Totally got 66 vibes from it, and I literally wrote that down. It has such an Adam West feel to it that I was waiting for the kapow, the kapoo, the bam, boom. Like I was waiting for that to happen.
I bet you though Arnie
Um,
was doing it in the background. Like I said, I'm just like think, but Arnie's sitting there watching the takes, going kapow, wank,
Kaboom.
smash.
I'm going to get this out of the way with now. I really fucking loved this movie. I have so much to say on it, but I genuinely came out at the end of it yesterday going, oh, so fucking good. Like, I've had such great conversations with my husband while watching this. Like, how could anyone hate this film?
I think like Paul's hit the nail on the head there. Like expectations for Batman have always been very high, and
Mhm.
I think after 89 they were like super like highest level, like we want like the serious Batman. And then
Yeah.
Returns kind of like treaded the line. I think like it was a little bit of both, I would say, because it's serious and scary. But there's plenty of comedy, but it's also like a bit black comedy at times, you know, like especially like anything Danny DeVito's doing in the
Yeah.
I
movie.
can still get
Like, he
visions
is
of
funny.
eating that fish again. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, and like he makes like jokes, but they're like the scary jokes. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and I think like the Schumacher stuff, people thought he was like taking the piss out of Batman, but Paul's probably right in that he was going like, "Oh no, I'm just trying to modernize the '60s Batman," because like, but I don't know, like I do genuinely love this film. I'm glad Sammy said that she loves it too, because I really couldn't tell if it was nostalgia or not, because like I loved every second of it, and I love the weird like designs of everything, because it's like there's like obviously everything's like toyetic, as we've said.
Yeah.
But there's loads of weird like
That's the
tech
word.
designs and architecture designs, like that observatory that's like a guy,
see-
like a giant man holding
It
up
is
like the observatory.
Unrealistic architecture. So it is so toy related, because I saw Arkham Asylum as I could picture it. I could
Like the
picture
play
that
set.
building. I could completely picture it, and I was like, "There's so much unrealistic architecture here that it's so fucking fantastic to watch it." This was one of the first movies to use CGI. The whole opening to the I mean, you can. There is some very questionable scenes in this movie, but the whole opening to it is CGI.
but it's done.
Yeah.
There's some things that's done well, like the CGI on the ice when he's shooting people with ice. That's done brilliantly. Like that actually looks better than some of the
Oh,
CGI that you get today. Like the Flash, for example. Like compared to the Flash to
ooh.
this,
Yeah.
this looks better. There's the weird way, because when I was like looking back and doing research on it as well, like the amount of hate this gets on the internet. Like we put a post up on the Facebook group saying, "What do you think of this movie?" Just simple, not like trying to push the narrative or anything like that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was split down the middle. There was no one that said, "Oh, it's middle of the road, it's okay." They were like saying, "I fucking love this movie," or "This is unwatchable." There was like crazy, like how people elements. I'm like I said, I don't love the movie. I think it's great, but I don't hate it at the same time. So I'm quite like say it's like middle for me. There's a lot of elements that get muddied because it is very much a Batman comic book movie. It's not trying to
Mhm.
be a Batman movie per se, like we've got. It's not trying to be like say the '89 or Batman Returns. It's not trying to be the Dark Knight
Mm-mm.
trilogy, the Chris Nolan's, and it's not trying to be the modernized ones. It was very much saying this is what the comic books were in the '60s and the '70s, where they were
Mhm.
overpacked, overinflated, a lot of things
Over
going on,
exaggerated.
and everything
Mhm.
trying to keep up. But I think the audiences probably weren't ready for it now. But probably if they made it now, they will be okay because we've had things like the Avengers, we've had
Mhm.
Justice League. People would be more accepting, but the narrative of the movie gets a bit lost when you're trying to like work out what's going on. Because I did struggle watching it, trying to work out what the main storyline was.
Yeah.
And when you think about
Yeah.
it, the main storyline is pretty much just the relationship between Batman and Robin, which is simply on the title, which is, you should work out straight away, but you don't think of it that way. You think, oh, there's bad guys in it. Let's get no, like there's basically four stories all going off in one time of tangent. If you think about it,
There is, yeah.
you've got the
There is.
you've got the Mr.
I didn't
Freeze
really.
part. You've got
Yeah.
then the Poison Ivy part, who's like trying to take over the world, but them don't really cohesive or fit nicely in my eyes. But again, if you take them
No.
out, it's interesting stories. Then you've got the relationship between Batman and Robin, or Bruce and Dick, and then you've got the Alfred story behind there as well, and that's
Yeah.
like the thing that's trying to connect all of them together. And if they got it to work, it would have been like Maestro working too. But that's a lot to do in a 2 hour movie. I think it was 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think.
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It's but yeah, you haven't even like obviously I know why you've forgot it, but the throwback girl in as well.
Yes.
Barbara
Oh.
Pennyworth, Batgirl.
She is not Batgirl. She is not my Barbara Gordon.
I was
She
feeling
is.
so bad for you having to watch that because I know how much you love Barbara, and
I
that's
just
the thing.
kept.
She isn't Barbara
She
Gordon
No.
isn't Barbara. Well, that's
technically.
it. That's it. And I had to keep reminding myself that is not Barbara Gordon.
This is
Um,
some new person.
this is just, and I totally got what you meant by her facial expressions. She just played Cher again from Clueless. It's the whole persona was just Cher.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Well,
I
but
just
I'll
could the amount
I'll
of lip
compose myself
curling
there.
for
yeah,
Alicia, like I couldn't believe it.
I
Do you know
think
what, Jake? It was the end bit where she turned around. She's going, "It's me, Batman. It was me all along." Like, fuck no, no
no.
shit.
Well, they put one beauty mark on her. That was her disguise, wasn't it? She had
Oh
like an extra.
no. There's a few scenes in it that are really not problematic, but sketchy. One of them being Alicia Silverstone when she jumps onto the bike. That is clearly not Alicia Silverstone at all. Different face altogether.
Mhm.
And the best one, me and Ant had to go back a fair few times to watch this just to make sure we were right, and I had to write it down. When Chris O'Dowd
O'Donnell.
Robin.
O'Donnell?
When Robin is in the water
Mhm.
after Poison Ivy's done her bit and she falls into the water and he comes back up and the Ivy's pulling back down again,
Mhm.
that is literally just the tape rewound
Yeah.
and
No,
fast forwarded.
Yeah.
And I could not stop laughing. We watched that at least 3 times.
Yeah,
It
I
was
definitely picked up
fucking
on that as a
hilarious.
kid
Yeah.
and thought it was funny. But like Lee mentioned that as well, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh, it's probably because he didn't want to be dunked back under the water in his full rubber suit, because like it would have all just went
Fucking
straight
horrible.
down the neck, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But did you notice how many times they do dump him in water in this film?
Yes.
Like and goo. Like he gets dumped in the ice cream as well. I guess that's what that's supposed to be. Like he must have had an awful time. I wonder if it's because there's any like backstage like funny business being like, oh, we hate this Chris guy. Let's chuck him in the pool again.
Yeah, I think we discussed it. Like, there's rumors flying about that Chris back at that time wasn't nice or easy to work with. He caused a lot of shit behind the scenes. But going back to, like, say, Batgirl, let's get the bad stuff out the way first.
Let's get the elephant out of the room with
because,
that.
like, say, they did do Batgirl dirty in this film. Like, there's certain elements that
Badly.
when I was watching, I was going, oh, it didn't sit well, because they tried to make it this like feminist action hero, but then in the batsuit they accentuated her tits. Actually had the thing, so it was making her boobs look bigger. She used the word when she was fighting with Poison Ivy. She was good. You chicks give us women bad names. It's like, oh, fuck off, pet. Just no.
And they also, like, it's, you can say it's equal opportunities, but like they do show like gratuitous shot of her pulling her pants up, like, but they do that for Batman and Robin as well, like when they're getting
right
suited
at the
up.
opening scene. That is literally my first line. What is with the butt and crotch shots? What is that all about?
Because Degeneration X was about.
I'll tell you what, my auntie loved that back in the day. That's who they were making that stuff for. It was the moms who had to take kids to see the movie.
That's it. It was for the moms. Okay.
Just remember, it was Val Kilmer before, who was a heartthrob back then.
And it was meant to be Val Kilmer again. But again, Mr. Kilmer was incredibly awkward and wanted more, and they just went, no, we're not taking you.
When I was a kid, like, obviously we'd had a couple of Keatons, but like, I think because of these Forever movies, in my mind, I was like, oh, like Batman is just like a different actor every time. Like that's kind of, and it kind of has done that again a couple of times. But I never feel like the actor is Batman, which I know like a lot of fans are like the Nolan one, like that's my Batman type of thing. But I think, I don't know, I must have got conditioned by these movies to just be like, Batman's like a thing that every actor or generation gets to give a go on.
We were lucky when we were growing up as well. We had the Bond movies. Like each James Bond had a different Bond, and it wasn't like taking anything away. It was just a different style or a different presence. So that's why I could get on board with people saying, "Oh, you can't recast Batman." Of course you can. Like Batman doesn't have to be the same actor. If he's
drawn completely different in different comics. So,
exactly.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
But I think my biggest problem, again, I'm going to stop slagging it off, but the biggest problem with Batwoman, why the fuck did they give her heels? I'd like to say that this is supposed to be like an action like suit, like ready for combat, and they give her fucking high heels. That was
Alfred gave her high heels because he designs the suit apparently.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my brain just hurts with this character completely. I'll get into the horrible side of Alicia Silverstone's treatment in this movie, because I think it's worth bringing up. A lot of Batgirl scenes were cut, so it doesn't really flesh out the Barbara story. So unfortunately, what you get is what you see, and a lot of people within the press, and I don't think the internet. I don't think the internet was a thing then, but mentioned her weight.
Yeah.
Alicia Silverstone apparently put on weight, and that was the reason they couldn't fit her into the suit. That's why she didn't have a lot of suit time. And Joel Schumacher, to his fucking credit, went, are you fucking kidding me? Do you honestly think I'm going to make them decisions based on the fact that girl had a fucking pizza?
Yeah.
Like, no, I do not work that way. He defended her. I think the comments I read that he said were just, he was brilliant. I have a lot of respect for Joel Schumacher in this whole franchise, especially with he bended the will to do what the studio wanted for this film, on the basis that the next one he could do a much darker version. He could do his version, and he wanted Kurt Russell to play Commissioner Gordon. He hadn't named his Batman, but he wanted Kurt Russell to be a young Commissioner Gordon, and they were going to take a darker route into it. And the studio after this went, fuck no.
Well,
That's not happening.
yeah, I think me and Sammy mentioned before, this has the reputation as the franchise killer for a long
Yep.
time, because not only did this kill off Batman for a long time, it killed off superhero movies. Like Warner Brothers and all the other like studios, after Batman and Robin flopped, because it was a big massive flop compared to the others, um, were going to walk away from doing other projects. Like Superman got canned on the back of this. The film
Oh
that
yeah.
actually saved superhero movies was X-Men after this movie. So if
Oh,
Yeah.
X-Men didn't happen, we wouldn't
yeah.
have anything that we've got now, because this is what they actually nicknamed it, the franchise killer, which isn't fair on what they're
It's
doing.
not.
Because if you take the elements in it, like I'll stand up and say George Clooney is one of the best Bruce Waynes we have ever had on screen.
Yes.
I was gonna ask you what you thought about George Clooney, because like I think he's one of the better like Batman, just in the acting side of it. Like, fair enough, he's not like a martial artist or anything, but like his scenes, I feel like are quite good, and he can do the whole like the dry humor thing without cracking his face or anything. You know, like he's not like goofy Batman. But he
Yeah.
says plenty of goofy stuff. But like you can tell it's like they're doing it like, oh, Bruce is just like one step ahead of everyone. He's got the joke ready to come out like immediately.
I think as Bruce Wayne, I love his interactions with people. His interactions with Alfred was always great. The way he was with Robin, like say he was trying to like be a father figure, but also not be a father figure at the same time.
Yeah.
He had Bruce Wayne down. It reminded us a lot of the animated Bruce Wayne, like the Batman the animated show.
Yeah,
That's the kind of vibe I got from him. And again, I, I I hate to keep harping back to the Flash movie. I was over like spoilers if you haven't seen it. I love that he got his little cameo at the end as well. So he got he got his own little moment in that, just to like kind of say fuck you to the fan base. Because let's be honest, we've talked about toxic fan bases throughout like in other places.
There is nothing like a DC fanboy.
Oh,
I have been on the back end of their comments.
but if you think about all the stuff that like, because this is before the internet as well, like they were petitioned to not have Michael Keaton when Michael Keaton first got cast as Batman. They nearly rioted. They said Michael Keaton is a terrible Batman. Then when we left, they were kicking off saying, "Oh, they could bring back." They kicked off with a casting for George Clooney. They kicked off the casting for Chris O'Donnell, I believe. They went absolutely mega hot when Heath Ledger was cast as the Joker. I remember that.
Yeah, I was there for that.
That was the scariest thing I've ever
for
seen
that.
on the internet. And that was the most biggest, best turn I've ever seen. And then we've had recently Robert Pattinson getting the shit for like the casting. Like they don't even want to watch the movie first, give it a chance.
Yeah.
It's like that's why like fandoms just drive me nuts at times.
Do you think it like obviously like none of us know exactly why people are that angry because we're not like those guys, but
No.
is it something to do with like the physique? Is there this kind of like thing about, oh, it has to be like a tough guy?
Does
Like,
it just always have to be Henry Cavill?
Yeah,
is that what the internet's saying? They just want to cast Henry Cavill in it all.
And is that why Wolverine was just completely acceptable by like 2000 standards? Because it was like, oh, he looks like a hard man, and my Wolverine comic that I read, he's a hard man. So like,
I think you might have got yeah.
Then to learn about Hugh Jackman and what he really enjoys to do.
And then like, oh,
he likes to sing, he dances.
Well, I had this conversation with Ant last night because I was like, because obviously Ant was there for 89 and onwards, and he lived it like you did. And I says, why is Clooney not a good Batman? In your eyes, why do you say Clooney's not a good Batman? Because personally for me, I think he's a fantastic Bruce Wayne. But he says he can't change between Bruce Wayne and Batman. So he's always the same person.
Yeah,
there's no change. And I know like everyone had a bit of something to say about Bale completely changing his voice for when he's in the Batman suit, but it actually, I can't say the word, but it shows you the difference between the Bruce Wayne side and the Batman side. And he said it just felt like it was so much lacking that he was just one note even though Bruce Wayne was perfect, it was just it was one note all the way through from Bruce to the suit.
I think it's hard though when it comes to like with you being an actor, you research a role, but we're not just researching one role, you're doing two roles. It's basically a split personality. And I hate to say it, the only person that's well, I hate to say it. I don't know why I said that. The only I'll go out on a limb and say it, the only person that's got it right is Affleck because he's like he had Batman different to what Bruce Wayne was. It was a different take. It was very 1990s Frank Miller Batman, and that, like I say, I enjoyed it. As I said, I think Clooney was, I said, exactly the same as Bruce Wayne as he was as Batman, but I think that was because of the scenes he was in. He was being seduced towards Poison Ivy, or like I say, it's been a thing. His interactions with Freeze were just mostly all fight scenes and one-liners. And then you had the big ball where the special guests were Batman and Robin, where he said, "Hey, this is the Bat credit card."
Yeah, they were like goofing around in that scene, really, as well, weren't they?
So it's hard to be like the Batman, the scary Batman that criminals were terrified of, because it wasn't that type of movie. But if you go back, like Adam West, he was exactly the same as Bruce Wayne as he was as Batman.
Yeah.
Keaton was a brilliant Batman, but not a great Bruce Wayne in my eyes. People's going to come for us now, but I don't care.
No. I totally agree with you. I think
he kind of plays. Keaton plays Bruce Wayne as like an oddball, doesn't he?
Yeah.
As if it's kind of like them, like a distraction tactic to be like, no one could believe this guy is Batman.
Yeah.
But like
nuts?
in the animated series, it's just like the voice change is just like a sternness, really. Like, so like maybe they were going for like something like that, where it was like it's just like a minute change. Like, I don't need a growly Batman.
Maybe
it's more of like an authoritative tone sort of thing, isn't it? Like for the animated
I agree.
one.
Maybe the voice isn't like a huge part of the Batman persona, but it kind of like it just gives you a bit of a change from this smarmy Bruce Wayne to this...
I think Commissioner Gordon would probably figure it out in this universe way faster.
I would like to think so. I would really like to think so.
You know what was really weird about Clooney's Batsuit? It had like a really pronounced nose, like nostril holes.
Yeah.
Like it was like rubbered up to his top lip with two holes. And I'm like, that seems really uncomfortable to wear. Like, I'm pretty sure every other Batman, it's just like a full slit, isn't it? But he had actual molded nostrils and they even like painted them with the silver accent when they had like the snow outfits on.
You can thank Rick Baker for that.
Right.
Okay.
Rick Baker is the costume designer, and V. Neil is the makeup artist for this movie. I saw that because of the credits.
I love a lot of the costumes in this because it's one of those things we've lost probably because of this movie. If you're saying it's the franchise killer, but like everyone now is like realistic outfits and like military inspired stuff for Marvel, especially.
I love the goons in this as well. Like Dr. Freeze's goons were just hilarious. Like,
and those neon guys as well, like the neon skull guys, who I think are from the first movie. So like it was definitely starting its whole like universe continuity stuff.
The thing about the movie as well, which I've watched back and I've looked at, like it is the ultimate cameo movie as well when it comes to the Batman franchise. Like Jesse the Body Ventura's in it as a guard.
Was that him?
Yeah,
I couldn't tell if it was actually him or someone. Yeah,
he actually has one of my favorite scenes where Freeze goes to clunk them together. And then that was hilarious. But Poison Ivy goes to kiss the other guard, and then he reacts. And Jesse reacts before she touches him.
Yeah, like he almost pulls away. But yeah, he can't.
You know, resist them wilds. But
this movie definitely started me off crushing on Uma Thurman.
Yes.
Can we get into Poison Ivy a second?
Yeah.
I've just mentioned the other cameos that I didn't know about because
sorry.
No, that's fine. Coolio had a cameo.
Oh, I remember him.
The guy.
And
you know what? As well, I had to pause it on that scene because I was like, "No, did I really just see that? There's two guys dressed like Clockwork Orange standing next to Coolio."
There's a fair few of them. There's a girl at the end who's like wooing, and she kind of like looks around like to see if she needs to stop wooing.
Was that the lass who was chatting up Freeze as well when the skimpy outfit, was that thingy out of
It's
Kill Bill?
Victoria Fox.
Yes,
that was
was it
Victoria
really?
Fox. Yeah, and then you had Elle Macpherson, who just looked fucking beautiful. Every one of the cast members got asked if you want to take something home. What do you want to take home? So
Really?
yeah, Arnie said, "I'll take the suit home. I'll take this home," and then and George Clooney just went, "I'll take Elle home."
Well played, Clooney. Well played. Did you know we had a Haim in this as well? Corey Haim.
Corey Haim.
Yes, he played one of the bikers.
Did he?
Yeah, he was. I only saw it because I wrote down Corey Haim cameo. It was a non-credited role as well. So
okay.
Oh wow, that's so cool. Oh,
I do always like that, how we get like stormtroopers that are like famous people and they don't really make a deal about it until like months after.
That's it. If I
tell everyone before it comes out.
If I ever had any street cred from what we do here, and it's like someone says, "Do you want a cameo in a Batman film?" The way they'll not recognise you, they'll put you in outfit. I will be yes. Let me die on screen. Let Batman kick my ass, please. But yes.
You would have the most extravagant death scene just to be like,
"That's me, bitch. That's me, bitch." But
there's some really funny like action scenes in this film, just because I think like the only way they do super strength is just by like throwing people on wires and stuff, isn't it? So like there's like
work, wasn't there?
There's that part where Arnie's like gun gets stuck on top of a statue and he just like throws that little guy up. I love that. But also, did you notice that twice they make Arnie try and catch that giant freeze gun in his outfit? And both times he like fumbles it. Like that must have been really hard for him to
do.
Yeah. Before I want to just talk about Uma Thurman for a minute so I can get it out of my system, because everything else that I have to say is just nothing but positive. Holy fucking, she looked fucking amazing. I love how she looked. Like I hate the idea of cosplay and dress up. It just makes for me, it brings out all my worst insecurities. I hate it. However, I would fucking do that as a cosplay. She looked incredible.
My wife's done it for Halloween, yes.
Is the voice.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
She changed her voice. She was at one moment she was quite sweet and meek, and that was cool because it went with the whole doctor thing going on. And then she was a 1920s actress who sounded like she was and then she was someone who was like all precious again, and then she went back to being bloody I can't get my head around how many times she changed her voice during that movie.
And she was
like unsettling.
Most of our lines are like shouted as well. Like, like,
she'd be like,
like as I told Lady Freeze when I pulled her plug.
Like it's like she couldn't figure out how she wanted to play it. So she was like, I'll just play it every way possible and let's just see what lands. And unfortunately, none of it did.
To be fair, though, I think if you look back at the movie, she is one of the most... I know it sounds weird because Arnie looked amazing as Dr. Freeze, but she is the iconic thing, like, viewpoint. Everything always uses her as a reference point of what Poison Ivy looks like.
Got a different outfit every scene, almost, as well. Like, a slight variation, like, even if it's just roughly the same. Because, like, I was thinking that, I was like, oh... Like now she's got tights on, it's like the same thing, and then she has like the weird hair buns and a more like plant-like stuff.
And I blame her for the stupid eyebrow craze as well, because she started the stupid eyebrows, and everyone else has done stupid eyebrows since.
I have no room to talk when it comes to eyebrows. If anyone wants to go and have a look at my Instagram circa 2013, you can have a good laugh at that. However, I love it. I've mentioned this on Monsters, I've mentioned on here. I love makeup. I absolutely love makeup, and I love prosthetics, and I love design. The one thing that really icked us, and this is just because of how much detail I look into it, her hairline was doing my tits in, because the side of the hair was not put down properly. So she's got a lace front. She's got the lace front on. Now, I know my telly is a 4K telly, and it picks up fucking everything, but this was like a copy from how long ago, and I can still see the edges going around where her lace front should be going in. I was like, oh, that gives me the ick.
Yeah.
That is my only one thing that I could pull away from that costume, because the rest of it was just flawless for us. It was so comic booky. It was just such a fantasy that I absolutely loved it.
Did you I think this movie does lose a bit from being HD. Because I was watching like the Amazon like digital version, and there was like definitely parts where I was like, as a kid, I definitely couldn't tell like these bits were CGI. Like when they were falling out of the rocket doing like the surfing, I was like, oh, you can actually see where the CGI Batman drops behind Arnold Schwarzenegger, then the real Batman pops back up to like film the next bit. And there's like whenever it does a close up on like costumes, like I noticed like Arnie's, like he had kind of these weird baggy like gray pants on underneath his suit, and I was like, oh, I've never seen that before. Like, you know, like I think I saw some like underarm seams on like Batman and Robin when they were like, you know, because they do a lot of falling and then grappling hook in this film. Like that's a really common way to escape something.
I think 4K has a lot to answer for when it comes to these type of things.
I hate watching reality TV because it shows us all their makeup and mistakes.
One film I would recommend not watching in 4K, and I know it sounds really weird because I love this movie as well, Back to the Future, because you see all the little not mistakes, all the little tricks they do. So when they've got Doc in the present, that you can see the makeup line on his neck where they've aged him, and like the fake skin, because it's so clear, and you can see all the different like effects they've used to, like, especially like Marty's mom and stuff, like in the thing. Everything's like accentuated, and it just looks lovely, but it's like, oh, it's taken away a bit of the magic. It's like, go back to grainy. I don't want to see that. Like the lines.
They should maybe try and figure out like a filter you can do on like 90s and 80s movies where it just kind of smooths it over
like
a bit.
Digitally go touch it up type thing.
But the minute I saw V Neil's name in the credits, I went, how fucking dare you? How dare you have let her go out in that wig like that, and then you criticize people in a fucking competition over stuff like that. I was going, V Neil. But I did think the makeup was absolutely fantastic, not just on Poison Ivy, but everyone really. It was so, like I said, with Ivy, very fantasy. It was
the Bat family's eyeshadow was really nice.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I would love to do that. I would love to be able to do that smoky kind of look. But Mr. Freeze. Oh my god! I love Arnie in this movie.
We'll leave Mr. Freeze to last, because I want to talk about the true hero of this movie, the person who got like shat on a little bit, but we got a comic accurate look being in this movie. And I never thought we would ever get that as well. And even though he's been relegated to a secondary thug, like a henchman, but I didn't love him as much as a kid. But watching him now, because I'm a big fan of being in the comics. I'm a big fan of like the being we get in like the Arkham games, and being in the like in the cartoons that we get, like especially in the Harley Quinn cartoon. He's hilarious when you got being in that. But having a comic accurate being and just going, fuck it, we're going to give him a luchador mask, as Jake's proudly got in his t-shirt as well.
Amazing.
Going full Venom as well, like not just bullshit saying, oh, it's to stop him from feeling pain, but like making him a skinny guy, and when you're pressing the thing, getting him like to venom up as well. I fucking loved that, and I thought it was brilliant how he looked and how he played this movie as well, especially when he was fighting the goons when they break into that place and they could attach everything around him, and as Jake said, he just goes raw,
and everyone gets like pulled away with wires.
Amazing. My husband had very different feelings on this being.
Right.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, he was like, he was just shouting at the telly, he's an intelligent man. He broke Batman's back. So he didn't appreciate it. I, on the other hand, absolutely loved it.
But what you got to think about
humanity.
If you look Bane of the Humanity, but if you look at as you said, if we go back to this film, it's a homage to the 1960s. The 1960s absolutely. Being Wonder broke Batman's back. 1980s being the Tim Burton Batman. Yes, maybe. But no, we got the colourful, the bright, and the just menacing.
It's
That's
weird though,
how
because
I
like
know Bane though
Mm.
from the video games. That
yeah,
image of that you see that I'm looking at, that looks like
Mhm.
the Bane from the comic, like from the video games that I've
yeah,
played.
and like let's not like give the Arkham games like more credit than the due. Like, you know, he's a video game boss that like runs at you and you have to dodge out the way, so he bashes into the wall.
Mhm.
Like they
I'm
don't
really
make
good at
him.
them ones, Jake.
They don't make him. It's like when they have the Rhino in Spider-Man games. Like they're not making like these guys don't have the massive like pedigree of like this is a protected character that has to have his exact backstory the same
Yeah.
every time.
Mhm.
Like look at the mess they got themselves into in like the Nolan films. Like what the hell was that? Like that
I was
big.
born in the dark.
Yeah, but
sorry.
like his
How to Superman.
his backstory doesn't make sense in a real setting because it's like
Mhm.
I know they didn't want to do like Venom or whatever, and it's like, but what is he like? Just a strong guy? I got, but yeah, this one is fun, and they got a real wrestler to do it. Which if
Yes.
you're gonna do Bane, get a giant wrestler to be him.
Mhm.
And I think it's like him and Poison Ivy have like a kind of cute relationship where she's not like mean to him,
No.
No.
but she was clearly like, I can't really leave him to burn in this factory
Yeah.
either.
Like, you're gonna have to come with me. She says
And
one of
she's
my
like,
favorite lines.
and she's like, you know, like Bane, dear, like clear up this mess. Like, you know, like
Yes.
we need some light in here and stuff.
She's so sweet to him, the way that she talks to him. And then when she's like fighting, I can't remember who she's fighting, and she goes, "Every Poison Ivy action figure comes with a him." And I just thought that was
Yeah.
a fantastic line. I was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, you've just cemented everything when it comes to the toys in this movie.
As me and Paul know, you did not usually get free.
No.
You didn't get double action figures where they were sold separately.
Boo. Oh, we were talking about that yesterday, weren't we? About the whole dual action figures. But I love the neons, greens in this.
Yeah.
How they accentuate all the wiring work in them.
Mhm.
And I just that was Bane for me. Like if I was going to picture Bane,
Yeah.
that is how I am picturing him.
This
And
was like
maybe
really. This was really like in the 90s. This was all over like every kind of media that I enjoyed. It was like,
Mhm.
you know, like the criminal guy, he's gonna get turned into a monster, like, and then he becomes like a cool henchman type of thing. Like, so I was all down for this. I was like, I'll volunteer for the Venom program.
Yeah.
Oh, you
If
could
I'm gonna
never
look
be
as
that
much as
mean, though,
that.
Jake. Though you're the nice
No,
guy in
you
the group.
couldn't.
Oh, is that the
I'll
trick
I'll just
now?
do whatever Poison Ivy says. Like, I'm not above it.
No. To be fair,
I think you would look cool
I
with
would
that,
sub
though.
for Poison Ivy. I'm not going to lie.
Oh my god, that woman is just absolutely amazing. She's very ageless in this.
I've just remembered a line in this movie that got me so excited as a kid, and it made us a little bit sad as an adult, because I think if they were like planning something, it was kind of like a throwaway line that kind of hinted at more. And it's one of the very first lines in the film where Robin and Batman are having a little bit of like little argument or a little tit for tat, and Batman just says, "This is why Superman works alone," and that was the
Yeah.
first ever reference we got, like of the bigger worlds in the Batman, because it was never mentioned. I think Metropolis might be mentioned in one of the other ones, but no actually reference to Superman, Lex, or anything like that. And I don't think in the Superman films Gotham or anything was ever mentioned. So when we
No.
said that, I was like, what does that
Mind
mean?
blow.
What's the next step? And I was like, getting
happen
I
now?
got quite giddy as a kid. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is like,
Well, you did get Lionel Luthor in this movie. Smallville's Lionel Luthor is the Mad Doctor.
yes.
Oh,
who
really?
Poison
But
Ivy kills,
that Mad Doctor is an actual DC character.
Mm-hmm.
He was apparently a
really?
bad guy. He's like a bad guy in Swamp Thing. It's like a very similar sort of. It's a very similar sort of story where he's like a crazy plant professor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they have retconned Poison Ivy to sometimes, like in the Arkham games, sometimes be like Dr. Woodrow, like experiment on me type of thing. But like, it is cool how they do reference like some DC stuff that you maybe wouldn't expect. Because I think in the first film, when they're trying to name Robin as well, he's like, I don't know, maybe I should be like Nightwing, like Batboy, like that type of thing.
Oh.
Like they do reference some stuff. Did you think it was weird as well? I totally didn't get this as a child when Batgirl comes up and then he's like, is that very PC? Shouldn't it be Bat Person or Batwoman? Like
Yeah,
that was a
was
weird line for the time. I thought
Yeah.
that's like more of a modern thing.
That fits in now, like a narrative that we're talking now, but it would never. I can't imagine how it could fit in when this came out.
And I think
There's
that's
a fair
before
few.
she's like, "It's me, Barbara.
It's me, Batman. It's me. I did it. I kicked Poison Ivy's ass." Like they had to be reminded. Like they were there. They saw it.
Yeah.
But she's very self-centered.
Yes.
I did not like her.
No.
I do. She's not my. She's not my Batgirl.
When she's like, oh yes, I'll do the technologies thing, and it, like Robin's going, oh no, it's all broken. We have to do it upside down. She's like, trust you men to make it more difficult. I was like, well, there, he didn't make it difficult. He just said this is what's happened. It's like fuck you, bitch.
Also, how the hell did them two get out from their little sticky situation of being dangling upside down? Because it was like, oh shit, like there's the bottom of the floor right there, and it's like, oh, hang on a minute, the next in the garage. Like, how on earth did they get up? Because
he's one of the magical Graysons, the flying Graysons. They can do anything except from falling on a net apparently, but it's fine.
We mentioned earlier about the whole this is a franchise killer.
Yeah.
Killed another movie that was going to happen after this. We were going to get a Nightwing movie.
Yeah.
In it, with Chris or
No
whatever.
way.
Yeah, no, that was supposed to be happening as well.
That
But
went
to be
down
fair,
the
though,
Swanee when this went down with
this Nightwing has been planned since the Tim Burton 1989 Batman, because you know who the original Robin was cast, who actually still gets paid from Batman and Robin, even though he never got a single line. Yes,
I do.
But he got cast.
Let Jake guess, because I know who it is.
Oh no, I can't guess. I've got no idea.
It'll probably be the last person you could ever think of in the world.
The last, yeah, it really would be.
Marlon Wayans.
Yep.
No way.
Marlon Wayans still to this day gets paid for a movie he never fucking did.
Never said a word, and he got cast as Robin because that was going to be the first one. He was going to be just like the introduction, like he was found. Batman and Returns. That was where he was going to put on the Robin suit, and then afterwards he was going to be Nightwing. That was the plan to expand the Bat universe type thing.
Yeah, I think the whole Nightwing thing it's another symptom of what we were talking about. Like everyone wants like the buff scary Batman, and they're also too scared to do Robin because they're like it's a little like it's like a little acrobat boy in like green tights and stuff, and it's like the Batman, like the actual Batman fans, like comic fans, like they don't care. Like if it they want it to be comic accurate, they're not going to be embarrassed to go watch a movie with like Robin in it. But like everyone's like, we'll do Nightwing first because he wears black. Like he's cool.
Give me Jason Todd. Give me Tim Drake. Give me them all.
They're always trying to skip the origin story for the embarrassing characters. Like I think Marvel gets in that trap as well, where they want to gloss over it, and it's like, well, now it doesn't make sense.
It does. Can I just have a quick chat about Alfred?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The best Alfred. Can we see it? The best Alfred.
The best Alfred. Who I went down a massive rabbit hole with his life last night. He was 94 years old when he died. He was in 150 movies. His resurgence came after this.
Right.
He became a Tim Burton actor. He's in Sleepy Hollow. The last thing he ever did was Alice in Wonderland, where he did the Dodo. He was married 4 times.
Alfred was a player.
But yeah, he was such an interesting man. And then like I got more into like the character of Alfred, and I thought his story in this was like. That was lovely, like trying to find his brother and everything, but also trying to make sure that Bruce didn't forget that he was also his family.
Yeah.
That there was the fact that, oh my god, them flashback scenes were fucking hilarious, by the way. It just
it was just like it would like fade into the window behind him, and he was just
fade
sort of
into
staring.
the bed panel at the back, and it's like that music where it's like
like it's far away. Like
but I love the storyline. There was one thing that really I could not stop fucking laughing at. Why, with all the most top secret information in the world on a computer, would you have your fucking password as Peg and it be right in front of the screen?
So, but like I say, that's always a question. To the point, was it Peg the woman, or just was Alfred into pegging? We'll never know.
We'll never know. But how old is Barbara's mom? In that photograph looked like it was set in the 1920s, and that's Barbara's mom.
But we never got any. But we never got any time scales of when these films were made. Though these could have been.
Well, she was supposed to be in school, though,
Yes.
wasn't she? In Oxbridge, and she did not have an English accent.
No, she didn't.
No, she did not.
And her school uniform wasn't appropriate as well, because Robin was being very inappropriate with her. Like,
he's
so bad, isn't he? He's just good. Please be looking for me.
That first line when he opens the door. Wow. That was something. But I really enjoy him as Alfred. Like, when you think of or picture Alfred in your head, I think that's my go-to.
Yeah.
We actually haven't had an Alfred like him for a long time when I think about it. Because like that's obviously this is the one we grew up with, but that's always what I want from Alfred. Like, he's got like jokes, but he's a proper like gentleman at the end of the day. But he never
knows his place at the same time. I know it sounds weird saying that now, but yeah.
But he does like humanize Bruce, where he's like, "Is that really what you're really saying that? Like, don't you remember like this time?" But yeah, I don't know. I'd quite like an old Alfred again. But have we ran out of actors that would do it? Like,
do it well. Where they play the butler, but they don't try and, because I think a lot of them try and play Batman's surrogate, like Bruce's surrogate dad.
Yeah,
Michael Caine was a very good Alfred. But he was too much like on the emotional side, and like Alfred was very professional. Like, he loved Bruce, but he was the ultimate pro.
He had to know the line.
Yes,
and he had to draw the line, as in, this is where we are professionally, this is where we are personally.
I thought Andy
Serkis
was line. I think Andy Serkis, he was like good acting, but I think he was the same thing where it was more of like a father figure type of thing.
Yeah. Bruce doesn't need a father figure. He just needs a guidance.
He's up when he's up all night, so he needs someone to help tidy up after him and make him meals.
To keep him company as well. Like, there's not the company side, but I think because Alfred knows his parents, he's not out to replace them. He could never do that. So all he wants to do is just give him a little bit of guidance. And I think he portrays that perfectly, where I think you're right. Caine is just far too emotional, and that's not a bad thing. It's just not the Alfred that I want to see.
Yeah. And let's come on to the main event, the big guy himself.
Yes. Like, so excited for this.
The silver shiny wonder that was Dr. Freeze.
I love him. I love him. 27 puns in one movie. And I was so tempted to write every 27 puns down, but you have to actually watch it, because nobody has wrote all 27 down. You cannot find them on the internet. They only do like, here's your top 10. Here's 15 of the bad
They'll be bouncing
puns
around in my head somewhere. Like,
I have wrote a couple down. Obviously the first one being the Iceman cometh.
I love that. Makes no sense either.
No,
it's gonna be a cool winter.
I think his puns in was it the Running Man was much better, but what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Freeze well, and my personal favorite, stay cool, bird boy.
It's just the way he says bird boy, isn't it? Like, it's
it's my favorite.
You could tell he's just having the most fun as Arnie's ever had in any film ever.
And in his personal life is having the worst fucking time. This is the time where he had the affair with the nanny and got her pregnant. When they took a break on this movie, he went and had open heart surgery to fix his valves, and then came back to finish it. He was having the worst fucking personal time, but looked like he was having the greatest time of his life playing this character, and because of that, I fucking loved it. I want a Freeze action figure. I want that Freeze action.
Do you know? Because you looked into the makeup, did they actually like shave him for this, or was it all like bald prosthetics? Because when I saw he had like no eyebrows as well, I was like, oh god, like did he really just like?
I would have been able to see, because of how high definition my telly is, that it's a drag queen effect with the the
your super glue type thing,
glue to go over the eyes to put them down, but you would still be able to see like kind of an imprint. I believe he was totally and utterly shaven for this whole thing. There is no lines going across. It's just like I am a person who used to shave her eyebrows off, so I know how it looks. It's just that you still have the arch, you still have the line there. Obviously, just no hair around it. He looked like that. He was perfect. The only one thing that really bothered us was his contact lenses, and I think that's because they were bothering him.
Yeah.
Because it's like one eye was like he couldn't quite control it, and it looked like he was like trying to like move his contact lens around. But it was a bit distracting. But apart from that, visually, he looks amazing.
I pissed myself laughing so much at him. I probably not on purpose, but to some of the decisions that allowed him to get way off. Like the whole thing about Freeze, his body temperature is ultra cold and it's not meant to warm up, and he's sitting in his lair smoking a fat cigar. I'm like, oh,
that would hurt his lips, surely. Like eventually,
it's like that's pumping the heat straight in there. But
there is some poor decision making in this movie. One that being one of them. The other one is when Robin kisses Poison Ivy and then he pulls the whole rubber lip shit off.
Yeah.
Right? Why didn't Ivy just kiss him straight away?
and like, are we really to believe that's how Ivy's like powers work? Like, it doesn't count if you get any in your mouth. Like, it's only like through lip only contact.
So we found out that Robin doesn't swallow. But
it was like a proper like grandma's kiss, like like first lips.
Oh, you're a good boy. Give him a kiss on his forehead and stuff.
But going back to Freeze, that outfit with the you could tell that was built for a figure coming out to a store near you. And I love the neon, the blue neon in it. I absolutely that was so eye-catching. That I need this figure, by the way.
Oh, you'll be able to get a fancy version by now, won't you? Like
I think there's a actual McFarlane one came out because they've done a re-releasing a lot of the Batman figures and stuff, so you can get
interesting.
I loved his car as a kid as well, with the spikes coming out the front.
Of course you did. It was manufactured for you to love it that way because they want you to buy it.
It's just how it's like very cohesive though, because it looks like a drive-in refrigerator, and it's got ice spikes on the front as well. And he loads his freeze gun into it.
Yes,
it's just like it's perfect.
I love.
What did you think of the weird Batmobile in this one? That was like full on.
This was my worst. This was my worst Batmobile out of all of them. This one.
Yeah, it's doesn't even get any screen time, does it? Like just like 2 scenes or something.
Because I always because form over function. Like you can make it look sexy, but you can have a reason for it. Like the Tim Burton, it was slick, it was powerful, it was like, and like even the Batman animated store was like slender, hard
to find it,
and but this one it was just like
sure my kittens are still asleep.
This one it's kind of like, what kind of weird shit can we put? Oh, we'll make it so it's like got big shiny lights, and so that everyone can see Batman's coming in the dark. That we know Batman's here. It's like it's like almost like a celebration that Batman's here. It's like, no, you're not supposed to know Batman's here until he's kicking your ass. But yeah,
and it had like a rotating like fan thing inside, didn't it? Where it was like.
No,
there was at mine. There was a few, because obviously I don't know how much of this is like production designers or if it was like Schumacher's like big vision, but there was so many scenes where there was like some kind of like a rotating thing blocking some light beams coming in, and like it just looks awesome. It makes it look like proper like comic booky and stuff like that.
It is probably. I know this is going to sound strange because all the different comic book movies we've had. This is probably the closest we've ever had to a comic book movie that's been on the screen, except from probably Frank Miller's Sin City, which was basically like scene from scene, like from shots of the comic.
Yeah, they did nail that as well, like visually. Yeah. Like I hadn't even read the comic before I saw the movie, and I could enjoy it on its own just for being like, this is like they've put some work into getting this looking exactly how they want it to.
I love the transportation into the prison personally. The Smeg fridge.
He was in the fridge.
God. Whoa.
I absolutely loved that fridge. He came in. I even thought to myself, my parents used to own a Smeg fridge. That looks exactly the same. Just take the red paint off.
Yeah, and then get him into the cold beam.
Beam.
He has to sit in a cold beam.
It was such a comedy moment when he clunks the 2 officers because he just goes, "I'm gonna get away."
Yeah.
And then slowly runs off to like
people don't like bonk people's coconuts together in real fights. We've found out.
But that was probably my least favorite look for Arkham Asylum as well. out of all the Batmans,
Right.
just because it was like it was like Dr. Frankenstein's
Yeah,
secret lab on top of the hill. It's like ha ha
Yeah.
ha.
it
There was
was.
some.
There was always a lightning bolt
Yeah,
happening.
Yeah. Yes.
but
It was. There was some incredibly unrealistic architecture in here.
no, but the thing what I didn't like about it is like the fact that it looked like it was an old castle. Then inside that had the freeze where this mega technology that could keep Doctor Freeze or Mr. Freeze like sustain him. I was like, wait there, where have you got this technology? Couldn't you have not just knocked up a cell like with padded cells and shit like that?
Yeah.
You-
Always winterize your pipes.
My God, what I thought was brilliant about the ending is when Bruce kind of like almost like, yes, you're going to spend your time in Arkham, but we're going to give you everything that you want, everything that you've been wanting to do, and everything that you want that you needed to do. We're going to give you all of that. Just because.
Just because,
Yeah,
just
actually-
because you're not really a
Because-
bad guy, you're just angry that,
Just
that
because
you that you couldn't
you
Yeah,
save
want
your
to
did.
wife.
steal some diamonds and possibly kill a few people along the way to get said diamonds, but don't worry, we're going to give you everything you
Well-
need because I am Batman.
That's the thing, though. Did he actually kill anyone? Because remember
I
at the
don't know.
start, remember
Oh.
at the start, Gordon's like, "There's this new guy in town, calls himself Freeze." He's like, he's smashing up the museum. So like, if they thawed everybody in the 11-minute timer, which
Remember,
he
the 11
tells
minutes
them
is very
about.
precise. You've got 11 minutes
Yeah.
or they die.
11 minutes.
But no, like to say something seriously good about that last moment, like that's probably like the closest we get to like a nice like Batman, like the one that exists in like the
mean?
animated series where you'll sit down and talk to like the bad guy that's clearly like
Mhm.
immensely disturbed and be like,
Yeah.
I kind of get it. You still have to go to prison, but like I'm gonna relate to you a bit because like
he was
he does say some cool lines and stuff where he's he's just like, oh, like vengeance is like it's not power like you think it is, but like the power is to like give life, not take it away. And he's like,
Yeah.
okay, Batman, you're right.
You've melted my heart now, Batman.
He kind of
Maybe
does.
the,
He sticks the hot thing on him, doesn't he?
yeah. Maybe the 11-minute rule has something to do with the 11% it got on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh. The only thing that's
Were they
sad.
cataloging Rotten Tomatoes scores back
Oh.
then?
Probably
God.
not, man. Probably not.
I don't believe in that shit. People pay for them ratings now. It's bullshit.
Oh, I know.
The
Oops.
only thing that kind of makes us a little bit sad. I'm glad we've got this movie and it's there to watch. But this is probably the closest we're going to get to the Batman animated episode. Was it The Heart of Ice?
Yeah, because you'll probably know more better than me, Paul. But was that the origin of this version of Freeze's backstory?
It's hard to say. I was never a big Freeze comic fan.
Okay. But like, you're right though, because that exact scene where he makes the little like it's either like a snow globe in the cartoon, I can't quite remember, but he fashions a little Norma out of ice. Like that exact scene is in this movie. Just the music's really nice though, but like Arnie doesn't give it like the gravitas of like
I know in the comics when his wife gets cured, she becomes a bigger dick than Dr. Freeze. She becomes more evil.
Amazing.
So she becomes a bigger villain.
Oh no!
So-
Which is not Killer Frost though.
No,
That's a different person.
that Killer
No.
Frost.
Did you know that George Clooney was not the original choice?
I did
Oh, no,
know,
who
but
would I know?
I couldn't remember who they had.
Obviously, Val Kilmer was going to be
Yeah,
continuing
carry
it
it
on.
on.
Carrying it on. And when he dropped out, they went with someone. They wanted to go with someone who I thought of myself when I saw the name. Holy shit, that's amazing! But I don't think he would have done as well. It was David Duchovny
All right.
Oh, okay. I could
So
see
David
that
Duchovny-
back then.
back then. However,
Batman and Aliens.
he was not only the first choice for this Batman. He was Nolan's first choice for Batman Begins.
Wait,
So
I'm not sure if the
Duchovny is
time on that
wanted
works out.
by the Batman franchise.
I know. After Kilmer pulled out, they offered Keaton it again.
He did, and Keaton said, "Fuck no."
Keaton turned it down. But I think, as you said for Commissioner Gordon, I think Kurt Russell would have been a decent Batman.
Yeah, he
I
wanted.
think. I think that would have been
But
interesting.
that's where I thought it was going when I was reading the stuff about how he wanted to, because obviously he made the agreement that this is how he would do the movie, but on the back of the fact the next one would be this, and it would be and I thought when I saw Kurt Russell's name and I was scanning through, I was like, Kurt Russell's Batman, that'd be fucking amazing. But then I was thinking Kurt Russell as Commissioner Gordon again. That would be, let's just put Kurt Russell in all of it,
Yes.
like playing every single role, because that'd have been so cool.
But yeah, like this Commissioner Gordon, I think, was in the Burton ones as well, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Or
he
did
was the
they never
same one.
turn-
Yeah.
Yeah. The one he's just like, Batman, look out.
Hey, see?
He's very 60s.
When they get the little thing popped up and he's on the Batmobile, like things, it's good. Yeah, Mr. Freeze is here. You got to look after him. See, it was very.
Go get you, see?
And friggin' Poison Ivy like comes this close to killing him, and then just decides not to like leave him alone because she's like feels bad for him. I guess.
Let's play devil's advocate here. So if they did continue with Batman, like after this one, and they recast him, who like think about it's this was late. This was 1997, is it?
97. Okay, so we're going from like
98, 99, early 2000s. Who would you have cast as Batman if they could have anyone? Because I've got one that I think at that time it would be a slightly older Batman, but I think it'd be quite interesting. Brad Pitt.
That was where my mind went to. He was like the biggest like heartthrob, wasn't he, at the time?
I think it would be after his performance in Seven. I think he would have been an interesting Bruce Wayne.
I think he's got the grit to pull it off. I think he's got the charisma and the funniness and quirkiness to be Bruce Wayne. But I also think he's got obviously the flip side of him to do Batman. That's not actually a bad shout, that.
I don't know if this is just in my head because of the Tommy Lee Jones connection, but I could see them trying to like give it to Will Smith eventually, because his stock was so high around that time.
So high.
I think if he'd asked for it, he would have got it.
Didn't he get offered Captain America?
That would have been really cool, I think. But obviously, like you said, this tanked everything that was in the pipeline.
Another interesting fact: this is the second movie where the Batman star is not first billed. Right. So obviously, Jack Nicholson is the first one.
Arnie was
the second
first,
one. Arnie is first billed on this.
Yeah. You know, like on the box, like it had like everyone's big name up there, didn't it? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Uma Thurman, like everyone on like the
George
VHS
Clooney right
cover.
At the bottom. But I really feel sorry for George. He actually refunded people on the back, like when they were going to see this movie, and stood outside of the theaters and was like, "I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." He has nothing to apologize when it comes to this movie. He played Batman.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. The decisions that were made are not made through him.
Yeah.
I think Clooney is a fantastic actor. Don't get us wrong. I'm not going to go out of my way to go and see anything. Like I'm not going to go, oh, I need to see the next George Clooney movie. But I am always thoroughly surprised when I see him because of his range and the way that he can deliver dialogue is just perfect. And I think he played a really good Batman. He's no Val Kilmer, but I really feel like he played a good part.
I wouldn't mind if they ever did go back to Batman Beyond, like say if they weren't going to go back with Michael Keaton, I would be happy for Clooney to play that kind of role, like the shut in from the comics. And I've forgotten his name now. The young Batman. What was he called?
Oh, Terry McGinnis.
Terry McGinnis. That's the one. It'd be the interesting one. He's going to be the hard one to actually recast because people aren't really familiar with him. But again, it has to be like quite a young punk and stuff. But
it's that story's weird though, because I feel like it would be really cool to do like the old Batman mentor thing, but I think if they try to cram the whole Terry McGinnis story into one movie, it would be nuts because it turns out there's like genetic manipulation stuff, and it's all like a Cadmus plot, and like there's a lot of it goes a bit crazy. It's technically not really a new Batman if in that kind of sense.
Why don't we just start small and just correct on-screen Barbara?
They've tried, but the film's there. The Warner Brothers won't release it.
Absolute dickheads.
Do you think it'll ever leak?
No.
Like,
they've probably burnt it by now.
I think they're scared to release it because if the rumors are true, the TV show Batwoman we got was actually worse than the Batgirl apparently. So
I just want an on-screen version
Of Barbara Gordon.
of Barbara Gordon, of the red-headed Barbara Gordon, who,
Sam needs justice.
I do. After that, Jake, it was awful. Her delivery was just, it was horrible.
I read some weird stuff about this as well, because like Batman and Robin, because it came out in the time when they were still doing movie novelizations that were often seen as canon, but then had to have some extra like fluff in them, just to like drag out the book a bit. And apparently they were gonna retcon the Alfred's niece thing and try and make it to be like actual Batgirl,
Barbara,
as in like Barbara Gordon. I don't know what exactly they were gonna do, but apparently there was talk of like a third in this, because like you can kind of tell they were setting up like, now we got like 3 heroes, and we've got a bunch of people locked in Arkham. They might have tried to pay Jim Carrey again to get him to come back or something.
Yeah, did you see
apparently the Scarecrow was mentioned in the book as well as being in Arkham in that universe, but yeah.
The room in Arkham where Bane pulls the wall off, did everyone like I kind of paused to have a look to see what I could see.
You could see all the little interesting trinkets and stuff.
Apparently there was the only other ones that weren't like Two-Face and Riddler. There was like a doll which people were like, it might be like Scarface's like homemade like puppet that he's got in Arkham or something. And I think there was a big clock, and everyone was like, well, it looks a bit Alice in Wonderlandy, that clock, so it might be a Mad Hatter prop. I just wanted to say quickly about the Bane actor. He sort of tragically passed away about 2 months after this came out.
What?
And he was like a WCW wrestler, and I think he was possibly in his like 50s-ish at this time. Long time steroid user though, but like he knew all of the big wrestlers. Hulk Hogan, Davey Boy Smith, and puzzlingly James Caan all spoke at his funeral.
Right, okay.
Wow.
But he seems like he was kind of like, he wasn't like a horrible guy or anything, like from all reports, but very like troubled life. He was like too big to go downstairs and stuff like that. Like, he had so much muscle mass that it was like impacting him pretty badly. Obviously it works visually for a movie.
Because there is no padding on that man.
Yeah,
that look looks good, because that's an actual human being. That is not someone who is like in a padded suit.
I do love the painted on veins as well, though. That was quite amusing at certain times.
Yeah, it makes him look gross, like when his hands are like round the necks and stuff. So it's like he looks disgusting. He kind of reminds me of that mountain guy that was in Game of Thrones, like because he looks impossibly big as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, because he is impossible. He's massive.
He's perfect for Bane.
He is, that's true. I can't believe I didn't read that. Like, that's normally something my eye instantly picks up to.
Yeah, it's he's not very. He had a bad run in WCW. He got involved in that whole. Paul will remember this, like the secret group of monster men that were trying to stop Hogan.
Yeah.
And he was the one called the Final Solution, and apparently they didn't know about the connotations of that phrasing, which I find hard to believe out of a WCW, but got changed to like Ultimate Solution, but he was dropped fairly quickly from that whole thing.
For me, that's like such a sad story, though. Like, I know,
apparently, like all the people on the cast made friends with him and stuff. Like, they were all like dead shocked. It wasn't as if he was just like, unnamed like guy who just none of the actors talked to. It seems like he made friends with a lot of people. To have Hulk Hogan speak at your funeral, you have to have made like an impact.
You've got to make an impression.
I could not find the Khan link or anything. Somebody will know somewhere, I'm guessing, but it was just on Wikipedia.
Wow.
For me, for this movie, it felt like I think, as I was saying, it's like so many different pieces and stuff. I think if they thought of it long term, split the movie in two and just done first half was the like hinting to Freeze, but then have like the main story for leave Freeze for the part two, but then focus on like say Poison Ivy and Bane in the first one, and then have like the fractured relationship with Bruce and like say and Robin going through and leading into the second one like part two, and if they'd done threes, and then they would have had the launching of Nightwing in that movie, it probably would have worked better for me, and like would have been probably more successful for the franchise.
Yeah, because Robin, like, while you had the moment where Robin was like, I'm going off on my own, he didn't have time to go and do anything on his own because like it was a 2-hour movie. And yeah, like
back.
like you're right, Paul. They probably could have had all the Poison Ivy madness could have like caused Freeze's accident, like in the background, like, you know, and then that would have made a little bit more sense. And especially how it was like her only plan was like, I want to kill all the mammals on the planet.
But she wanted to kill everyone, which potentially would have included herself.
No, she saw herself as Mother Nature, though.
Yeah,
but then she'd have been really fucking lonely
and cold.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, you've not thought this plan through, have you?
So our only way to do that, I guess she saw, was to make Freeze so angry that he would also be down for killing all of anyone who's not a super cold freak man.
Yeah. I've just thought of the actress whose voice she kept reminding us of, Mae West.
Ah, yes.
Why don't you come up and see me sometime?
So when we like to do these reviews, we always like to do that like out of 5. So I'll go to Jake first. So what would you rate this out of 5?
I'd give it a strong 4 out of 5 because like the acting is bad, but I was like thoroughly entertained like all the way through. Like it didn't feel like a long movie to me.
No.
But yeah, like there was definitely bad acting, can't deny it. There was those really cheesy scientists as well that stuck out that were like, whoa, like hanging off the thing at the end.
Oh no, that was one thing that did annoy us, is like they've been frozen and he melted, and it was like, are you okay there, guys? We're hanging on.
Yeah, like it's all puns. Like
why
even
didn't she run?
Even people who are about to die.
Yeah.
And she had an opportunity to run, like between him getting frozen, like that, from that gun to him being frozen, she could have literally ran, and she just stood there and screamed, and I was like, well, you deserve that now. That's totally all on you.
So yeah, like strong 4 for entertainment value, but like obviously couldn't say it's perfect because there could have definitely been some acting improvements.
What about you, Sammy?
I am going to go 4.5.
Oh,
are you on crack?
No,
are you going to disallow the points?
No, he's not.
Making this a 10-point scale now.
We'll go up just a little higher. No, I really fucking enjoyed this movie for what it was. I got some really good conversations out of it.
You're getting worse than Lee for your ratings now. Lee's banned from giving his ratings because
don't you dare compare me to Lee.
Lee's like, everything's a 5. I love everything except from the Crow.
No,
except from the Crow.
Except for get him out. So no, it's not perfect. It's not great, but what I took from it, what I got from it, I want to give it that extra little nudge, because I thought this was really fun. I don't know if I would have felt that when it first came out. I generally don't, because I never watched it. I'm ashamed to admit it, this is my first time viewing.
That's cool though that you got to keep it this long.
Yeah,
we're popped a cherry, guys.
They did it. I mean, that's going to happen a lot over the next few months with our movie choices. But I watched the Val Kilmer one last year and fell thoroughly in love with that. Like, I really did. Like, Val Kilmer is my Batman.
I think if you're not like Paul and you're okay with Jim Carrey, I think Forever's a stronger one-shot film that you can just watch without knowing anything.
Yeah.
Do you know there's an actually the Val Kilmer one, they call it the Schumacher cut. There's actually a 3-hour version of the film that's out there.
Really?
There's a
I
different
need to get a hold of this.
There's a different version of the film Kevin Smith's talked about because he's actually seen it, but there's been petitions, everything, for people to release the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever, and it's supposed to be like close to 3.5 hours long.
I'd watch it. I mean, we all watch Justice League, so why would we not watch this?
I did not watch Justice League, by the way. Don't Tommy with that brush.
I'm so sorry, Jake. Well,
I haven't even seen the shortened version of it, I don't think.
Have you not?
I don't know.
Jake is still clean. He's still clean.
No, I am sticking with my 4.5. I took a lot out of it. I got a lot out of it, and I'm happy to have watched it.
So mine, I'm gonna sound like a right harsh pass now. That's probably 2.5, just because of the legacy. It's not as bad as the 1989 version. I'm sorry, that is the worst Batman film that has ever been made.
Yes,
I will,
Paul,
I
do
will,
it.
I will die on that sword. Anyone who thinks that is the Joker, you can get fucked.
Wow.
And we'll have that conversation many a times over. But
Probably.
again, I know we haven't talked about it, but one of my biggest disappointments about this movie as well, and it's only because the films that came before have such amazing soundtracks. This
This
soundtrack
doesn't.
isn't great. It's like
No.
if you think about the ones that we've got before, we've got like U2, Smashing Pumpkins, Prince to do like say the soundtrack for the other Batman films.
Oh, right.
We didn't get like a Batman song
No.
for this movie, and it's kind of like a bit of a letdown. But
By
overall,
design.
What I will say is I loved the actual orchestral score. It is kind of the same as Forever, but I really like the Batman theme for this because like I'm not the biggest Tim Burton Batman theme fan, but I like this
Yeah.
one and I like Shirley Walker's one as well. But yeah,
Well, it was by design that they didn't do they didn't have a song to take into the charts and promote the movie because again, they didn't want that to distract away from the toys. It literally just was a toy. It was just one long movie made to advertise toys.
the toys.
That's all it was. Toys.
not albums. Get those out of
Just
there.
toys.
Like there's so many elements that they got right, and they almost, like I say, like they got the casting right for one. That's the important thing when it comes. And like I say, I think I'll mark it down for Barbara because they did Barbara dirty, and Chris O'Donnell. Well, he's a bit of a sex pest, so yeah.
He definitely comes across it.
Oh
in
yeah,
this,
he is.
like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and this I was like, in real life, is he? Wow.
Possibly. There's been rumours. Allegedly, he's a dick. But yeah.
Yes, remember the alleged word. But I wanted to recommend something that I actually saw when I was getting my version of this to watch. There is an amazing documentary on the creation of Batman. It's all about Bill Finger. I really urge people to go and watch it because that man needs to be sung from the high tops. Bob Kane, get in the bin.
Apparently there's some kind of documentary on the makeup of this movie as well.
Is there really?
Which might be worth digging out for Sammy. But yeah, because apparently it was that wrestler guy's last credited appearance as archive footage like a couple of years after the movie came out. So I don't know if that was just like a VHS extra or something, but that might, if we can find that, that'd be interesting.
That would be really interesting. I really do recommend that documentary though. It's so interesting to see the creation of Batman, the actual real creation, not what Bob Kane has been telling you for years, the actual genuine Bill Finger creation of Batman, because it is incredibly interesting. Cool. So I do recommend that one.
But yes. So I don't know if any of you have got anything else you just want to mention.
I am all out of notes. I have kind of decompressed and, I've got it all out now. I feel good about myself.
She has exorcised the demons.
Oh, I really have. That has been like sitting with me.
Are you quoting Jim Carrey there, Paul? From Liar Liar. No, it was Ace Ventura, wasn't it? No, but I'd like to thank Paul and Sammy for indulging me with this episode.
Anytime. This was fantastic.
To be fair, when we've got the list, we've got some indulgent ones for Jake. I think we've got we've got for Sammy's Turtles 2 coming up. We've got the Super Mario Brothers movie, not the new one.
My God,
the old one, and we've got Street Fighter coming up as well.
Yep. So. And I think I'd mentioned we should talk about like the Blade trilogy.
Yes. But to be fair though, that's not shit fantastic. That's just art.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But I love your choices, Jake. I love whenever Jake's like, let's do this, and like, yeah, absolutely, because you've totally.
I'm not gonna pick something middling.
No, but you've totally like reignited my love of the Turtles. I never thought thought that would ever happen in a million years, but I
Mhm.
am fucking living a turtle fantasy at the
And I
minute.
think that you might like Secret of the Ooze even
Yes.
more.
Oh,
I
It
can't
depends
wait.
where you fall on the Gremlins versus Gremlins 2 side.
she hates Gremlins, so it's
I'm,
fine.
I'm not a fan of Gremlins. I didn't watch
Go
it growing up.
ninja,
I
go
only
ninja,
watched
go, go ninja,
the
go
second
ninja, go.
one. My God, do I get to sing that song? I get to
Yes.
sing that
Yeah.
song. That's on this one, isn't it?
Vanilla Ice is there. Everyone's
This
having
is
a
going to be
party.
magical. This is going to
So,
be so magical.
so to give everyone the layout, because I know a few people are taking time off, cough, cough, monsters and Trek. Like that's sort of time off, twats.
I have a co-host who's worked her ass off this year. She
Oh, that's
deserves
fine.
it.
What have you done for Paul lately?
That's fine.
I did say at the end of Monsters, I was like, and this is the goodbye. Actually, no, it's not a goodbye. I'm here every Sunday.
But yes. So next week we've got a special guest coming on, and Sonia returning for Game of Thrones. So we're taking a trip to Westeros. We then have the Princess Bride review. This is for the
Wow.
Christmas month. Then we're coming back, Return of the Nerds for Lord of the Rings. Yes, it's happening. I'm going to get
It's
shouted at
happening
for a few hours
once
saying
more time. We're doing it again.
this.
Can't believe he's actually agreed to a second run of this.
Then we've got the one of my favourites. I'm excited for this. The live action One Piece. That's going to get
Yep.
very
Yes.
interesting.
We're gonna have to
It'll be
do a
great.
rewatch because
Oh,
it's
I'm
I,
all
I
for
was
that.
just thinking the
Oh,
same thing. I was thinking the same thing, and I was like, why am I arguing over that?
Yes.
Like, let's do this.
Then we've got the end of year review. So we'll talk about like
Yes.
things we've loved, the things that's changed.
Probably
Then
One Piece more. Just
yes.
extend this, extend the episode.
Then January we're starting off with Turtles 2. So the Secret of Ooze. Then we've got Serenity. Then we're going to anime with Spirited Away. So
That's going to be so interesting, especially from like mine and Paul's perspective.
yes. Then we've got Dexter. Then after that, we've got RoboCop, which I'm so excited for. One of my personal favorite films, Almost Famous, which we're going to be talking about. I'll probably get a bit emotional during that one. And one of the best comic book films I filmed wise or looks wise that's ever been made. Watchmen. We're going to be doing.
Wow.
Batteries
Love
not.
Watchmen.
Yeah, batteries not included. Going to the 80s. Breakfast Club, Blade, Blues Brothers, Super Mario Bros, Blade Runner, Inner Space, Willow, Street Fighter, and Knives Out. That's just the list that we've
That
got so far.
is
That's how exciting are them
insane.
movies, and I hope you nerds as well are enjoying our little bit of reviews because we've taken a while to get a hang of it. We went from explaining the whole movie, which was fun, but it didn't really seem like it was a point. But
Yeah.
getting our views and what we like about these things, I'm loving this so far. So I'm hoping you're enjoying it as well because
I am loving the fact that I am watching. You know how I've always had this list, but now I have to watch this list because the
Yeah.
ones that I have included into the reviews for next year, I have not seen any of them. Batteries Not Included is one of mine, and I'll probably hear my husband drop something in a minute because he hates the fact I have not seen this.
That's an interesting one because that wasn't one I watched a lot growing up, but people speak very highly of it. So I'd be interested to see like how it holds up 2023.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I've even bought it on DVD for us to watch. And it's still sitting in the still sitting there. Still haven't watched it.
You're shedding tears over it right now.
I am the worst. So yes, I am so excited for where we're going with next year. It's gonna be great.
And everyone watch Monarch Legacy of Monsters. It is fucking amazing. Dinosaur
Gonna be watching
Godzilla.
it this week.
But yes, so yes, join Sammy and Dan tomorrow for talking about the very Christmas movie Black Christmas. It's a very happy tale about people getting killed with carrier bags over faces and stuff.
Should have made them watch like the Santa Claus or something.
We should have like we should
just
have went,
pretend
like, really
it's a horror movie.
ironic. We should have went really ironic with it and did like the most cheery like Arthur Christmas or something like that.
But just like twisted every moment you could to see how like horrifying it was.
Tomorrow's episode is the last one of the year for Monsters. We are back on the 8th of January. You will see it all tomorrow. It takes a lot of weird turns, I'm not gonna lie, but it is a fantastic episode of the movie that inspired Halloween.
Oh,
leave it at that.
Yes. So yes, we have a few things like we're working on as well. We're going to try and get some guests on, some local vendors, local creators as well, just to like do what we've done in the past. Just get them to talk about themselves and give us a bit of information. Don't forget as well, Jake and Adam on the Ramblecast. What are you talking about this week, Jake?
Oh, this week we're actually got our first guest, and it's
Oh wow!
it's the amazing captain, or we might have to change him to Commander Goodwill just for this one.
The filthy animal.
Yeah,
You've got
we're
it.
talking
Goodwill.
Yeah, we're talking Mass Effect as well, which is a lot like Star Trek. It turns out.
Yes. And
Excellent.
And if you catch Jake when he's been twitching with his lovely better half, Natalie is absolutely hilarious as well. So if they do Twitch at any time, I fully recommend checking them out. Just seeing Natalie kick your ass.
I was uploading them to the website, and I watched more of that episode than I intended to because I couldn't turn it off.
I would like to play more WarioWare because we busted that out this weekend with some friends over like for the 4-player, and that was equally hilarious. But yeah, like we've been doing Saturday nights, and I've been trying to do more like multiplayer stuff, so it's not just the same like games you see everybody streaming. But yeah, that's been fun. A bit less good on the audio front because we're usually standing back there somewhere sharing a microphone. But yeah, no, we're having lots of fun on the Twitch, and it's all been good. Thanks to everyone who's been watching and who gifted me subscriptions for my birthday. That was very nice of you.
Yes. And yes, I'm trying to think. I'll probably be jumping on Twitch at some point to play a bit more Phantasmaphobia because you nerds seem to like it, you weird fuckers.
Yeah, it did really good numbers. Like there's plenty of people watching
me shit myself, and fucking Raymond was attacking us, the bastard.
Fucking hilarious. Watch you scream, mind. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. All of the audio for every episode that we do, whether it be Trek, Jake's Ramble. Am I saying this right, Jake? Jake's Ramblecast.
We call it something different every time. We've taken to calling it the Gun Ramblecast now because of Game
the Gun
Up
Ramble.
North. That's very silly.
Everything that we do podcast
Trek and Monsters.
All up on a Tuesday, audio wise, for any of you Spotify and iTunes listeners.
And just a bit of a challenge for anyone who's watching as well. The nerds will be carrying stickers on them. They should be carrying stickers on them wherever they go.
Always. I've got fucking stickers and business cards.
If you see a Sammy, if you see a Jake, if you see a Goodwill, even if you see a me, give us a little tap and say, "Can I have a sticker?" And I'll give you a sticker. Not in a creepy way. We'll give you a nice sticker.
I'll give you a sticker.
The exclusive collectibles, you can only find them by shaking us down in real life.
Just don't ask Lee for his, because Lee's a bootleg, so Lee's a dodgy fucker. So
yeah, Lee's are not. Ours, honestly, the quality on ours is so good.
Lee's are unsettling, and the bad things get done with them in pictures online.
There's one of my stickers.
Oh, that looks excellent.
Yes,
it's so good.
Yes. So I've enjoyed tonight, as for
been so much fun.
So yes, same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.